Hello, Gaston County, and welcome to the 85 podcast. The 85 is the temperature in the shade in Gaston County. It's hot out here.
Yeah.
To my right, Nick Dumont. How you doing today, Nick?
I'm good, Zach. It's so hot. Milk was a bad choice.
Nick, you got a really exciting quiz for us today, right?
I do, yeah. We're going to talk about which towns and cities in Gaston County are growing the quickest.
To my left, Joshua Chapman, the maestro. Josh, I can't remember. What number is this?
This is episode 10 of the 85 podcast.
Guys, we're in double digits now. I am Zach Brown, your host. We are everywhere social media exists. We're on Instagram and Twitter at The 85 Pod. We're on Facebook with our Facebook group, The 85 Podcast. You can find us at our website on www.the85pod.com. You can email me if you want to do it the old school way at the85pod@gmail.com. Please tell us how we're doing. I want to know how you guys feel.
That's why we're here.
That is why we're here. How's the summer going for you guys?
Very quickly. My son's 5, so he doesn't really know how quickly summer ends and how precious it is.
Agreed.
But if I were a kid right now, I'd be freaking out.
Once you're a kid and you're on summer break, it's like mid-July, you start thinking about going back to school, and it comes on you so quick.
So by the time this airs, I will be in Chapel Hill doing some training for my job, and then the week after that, I'll be in Italy, guys.
I knew that was coming up really soon.
So my wife and I were looking up pizza places in Naples because Naples is the center of the world for pizza.
Oh, it's the pizza capital.
I'm ready. I just got to say I'm ready. Give me the cheese. Give me the dough. Give me the sauce.
Now.
We've got a great show for you guys today, so let's just get to the rundown,
Okay,
Josh.
so let's get down on this rundown.
Get down.
All right, first we're going to start off with the Go Gaston events. Then we have an interview with Vincent Ginski from the Greater Gaston Development Corporation. Last, today, Nick Dumont is bringing us inside the pages with a quiz on the growth in Gaston County. Take it away.
Okay, you looked at him, but you me, right?
Go, Gaston. Let's go,
go,
Gaston. Let's go, Gaston. Let's go, Gaston.
I got to tell you, I love the, what are we calling it? I love the...
I guess it's a Go Gaston intro later.
Man, it bangs. It goes so hard.
That's it. All right, so these Go Gaston events, this is for July 20th through August 2nd. On the 21st, there's a vinyl record swap-in shop. This is at the Gaston Poorhouse. So if you're into vinyl records, you want to talk to people about vinyl records, maybe trade some, please come in. It starts at 9 a.m., but it goes through the whole day.
It's cool.
Yeah. July 21st at 7 p.m. It's called Ice Cream and Paint. Guess what? You eat ice cream and you paint a picture. It's at Excite. It's a new ice cream shop in Gastonia. Lastly, on the 21st from 9 p.m. to 1:30 at Allure in downtown Gastonia, there's going to be an 80s dance party with the cover band Off the Record. If you've not been to Allure, it's a really exciting new place in Gastonia where you can eat and then also party later on in the night. On the 24th, at Simply Yoga in Belmont, they are hosting a guided meditation event. It's the 24th from 12:15 to 1 p.m. Meditation is important, guys. Get your mind right. July 27th at 7 p.m., John Walsh is playing at the Catawba Coffee Company in Mount Holly. The Catawba Coffee Company does original songs on these nights and allows
local artists,
singers and songwriters to display their original songs. I think it's a really great event. July 28th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., Cars and Coffee at the Distinct Beat in Gastonia.
That's exactly what I'm
On
thinking.
July 28th at 5 p.m., the Shield Museum is hosting, of course, another amazing night. It's called the Creepy Night at the Museum. It is their existing Creepy Nature exhibit, but it's a night. It's an all-ages event, but it includes a cash bar for those of us who are 21 and up. On the 30th, July 30th, at 5:30 p.m., the Chamber is hosting a Chamber Night at the Gastonia Grizzlies. Come out, check out the Chamber, talk to people. They're great people. On August 2nd at 5 p.m., the District 8 Beer Company in Belmont is having their Beer Battle Royale. It's a great event where a style of beer is chosen, and they give you multiple choices of brewing companies that brew that type of beer. And their customers choose which brewery brewed it best.
Okay.
And that is the Go Gaston events for the end of July and right at the beginning of August. What's coming next is the Vincent Ginski interview I did a couple weeks ago. Vincent Ginski is the Strategy and Operations Associate for the Greater Gaston Development Corporation. He's a really smart dude. He's thinking about the future of Gaston County, as his organization is as well. And I'll let him talk about more of it. So I'm sitting with Vincent Ginski. How are you doing today, Vincent?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Tell the listeners a little bit about what you do.
I work with the Greater Gaston Development Corporation, which is a nonprofit that works with businesses, governments, educational institutions, and other nonprofits in the region to develop and implement long-term growth strategies for Gaston County.
What's interesting about what the GGDC does, it works with private and public entities, right?
Correct.
Most people are going to know the GGDC by your Gaston Outside initiative.
Correct, yes. That's one of the projects that we manage. The Gaston Outside campaign is a public and privately funded effort to kind of raise awareness both inside and outside of Gaston County of all the things that Gaston County has to offer.
Sure.
So I guess,
sounds like a certain podcast that I know.
Right, yeah. A couple years back, a number of our leaders got together and we conducted a survey of residents and leaders within Gaston County and also in Mecklenburg, and kind of gauged what perceptions of Gaston County were.
Okay.
That survey revealed that both some folks in Mecklenburg and also some folks here in Gaston itself, we weren't really speaking so positively about Gaston County in a number of different ways.
So the perception of Gaston County was different from the reality of it.
Mm-hmm. We all looked at each other and we said, hey, these perceptions aren't congruent with what reality is,
Right.
And in terms of all the things that we have to offer as a region, as a county that's, so close to Mecklenburg and uptown Charlotte, we have to start projecting all those things that we're all about.
You're promoting Gaston County. That is your main mission, that more than it is about the GDDC. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
Cool.
Correct,
You always
yeah.
look at me like you should watch what you say, man.
We're here for the benefit of Gaston County,
Okay.
right? Another project that we're managing,
Gaston Charlotte.
the Gaston County Charlotte Airport Economic Positioning Strategy. Right. Don't ask me for an acronym.
Yeah,
because it'd be
fair enough.
horrible. Essentially, there's this huge economic engine located directly to our east, right? And that's
The
called
airport.
Gaston County's border is 6 minutes from the Charlotte Airport.
Which means any growth, any economic development that happens around that airport also has influences in Gaston County.
Correct. Now, its annual economic impact, I think in 2015, was $16.2 billion
Is that generally, or is that for Gaston County?
on the region.
Okay, perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a huge driver and catalyst for growth.
Which is why the GGDC is so influential in the airport redevelopment plan and using consultants to make the plan for Gaston County.
Those consultants put together a plan for Gaston County that extends their secret sauce, so to speak, in and through Gaston County.
Okay.
Right? Say, hey, we found this economic opportunity area here in Belmont or here in Bessemer City or here in Gastonia. And we think based off of the market analysis we performed that this type of industry would fit right here as it relates to airport-related commerce. Because of the airport, when you connect to the airport, you're also connecting to uptown. And that's transformational. Other things we're involved in, TechWorks of Gaston County.
I love TechWorks.
Have you spoken about TechWorks a little bit already on the show?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Bit. I don't think enough people know about TechWorks. Talk about it like they don't know anything about it.
It's based in Belmont, a tech business incubator.
Not a lot of counties have something like this. This is very rare for a county to have.
In the state of North Carolina, it's the first of its kind in terms of an urban-rural setting for a tech incubator to exist in. You have all these folks, they have this tech startup that they're looking to scale up at some point, right? But they might not have the resources, or they might not have the right connections to scale up. And what TechWorks is all about is providing business owners and tech startup owners and companies, right? Those resources to really, yeah, exactly. And in addition to that, they're also offering coding courses.
That's the best thing about this, is that they're in the education market as well, so that if you have any interest in web development or in social media marketing, that there's a place for you in that tech hub, even if you're not starting your own tech startup.
In terms of the classes that I think will be phased in over time, learning Python so you can become well-versed in cybersecurity.
Sure.
Or artificial intelligence and things like that. These are pretty hard-hitting courses that they'll be offering.
And they're offering courses right now.
They are offering
They're
courses
active right now, even though TechWorks hasn't been fully built yet.
Correct.
And just so people know, TechWorks will be located right beside Riverman Brewery. They're hopeful that it'll be available to them in 2019, right?
Yep, correct. Another thing the GDC is involved in is support for the Catawba crossings.
Okay.
For example, in South Gaston, we believe connecting to Charlotte is something that's really, really important for future growth. As it stands in our relation to Mecklenburg County and Charlotte, compared to all the other Greene counties in the region, we are the least connected, mostly because we have a river.
You said the phrase Catawba Crossing. Why don't you explain what Catawba Crossing is? What does it mean?
It's all about adding another route into Mecklenburg County from Gaston County.
Gotcha.
Right? So Catawba Crossing means another bridge into Mecklenburg County.
Okay. And how do you're promoting that, I assume, by talking to county officials, talking to state officials.
It is a little bit touchy, a political subject,
of course,
right?
Of course, and we're not trying to get into that. But that's something you guys do. That's something other than Gaston Outside that you guys do. One thing I love about the GDDC is that a lot of people are very quick to take ownership, to take responsibility for great stuff. And a lot of times what you guys do is deflect that to other organizations.
The whole approach within Gaston County on the economic development front is super collaborative, and it's fun.
And I always tell people all the time, if you don't have to look very far in Gaston County to find people who are looking towards the future, who are looking towards the benefit of Gaston County, and the GDDC is one of those partners who are helping other people make that a reality.
We'll take credit for that.
All right, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Sometimes it's a little hard to see the fruits of your labor directly, you know, when you're involved in long-term growth strategy development and implementation. Right. What's been nice, I guess, after plugging away at this for a while, is this sort of renaissance where it's clicking.
Things are starting to spark.
Yeah, the groundwork that we have laid, people are building on it, and they're turning their head and being like, whoa, what's Gaston County doing? I'd never heard of this TechWorks thing, and they just the state just, you know, funded it with $1 million grant. I'd never heard of the Fuse District. What's that about?
Gaston County is really growing, and people need to know about it. Vincent, what's your favorite thing about Gaston County?
I'm training for a half Ironman right now.
Okay.
And so I wake up early, bike for a bit, and I run for a bit. What I always appreciate, right, because I got to live in D.C. for a bit, you know, and it's a different culture over there, obviously. But what I really like about Gaston County is people wave back. Like if I'm running on these sidewalks in Cramerton, or in Belmont, or going along Highway 7 through Lowell and Gastonia. It doesn't matter how fast they're going or how slow they're going. They'll like pay attention to you and they'll wave at you, and you'll get smiles from the car, you know.
I feel the exact same way about the area. You know, you could make all the consultants, all the marketing managers in the world, Gaston County, people wave back.
Sure.
That's great. You know what I mean? I love it. I feel the same way about Gaston County. And I got to tell you, Vincent, I feel the same way about you. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming on the 85 podcast to talk about Gaston Outside, to talk about your efforts.
Thanks for having us. It's been a pleasure.
As you can tell, they've got a lot of plans for the future of Gaston County, and they're really working towards, when we see that growth that we're on the cusp of, being ready for that growth when it comes.
Wow.
All right, so let's get inside these pages with Nick Dumont. Nick, you have a quiz for us today?
I do. So the Gaston Gazette loves numbers and stats, and so we're going to take a question that everyone has on their mind. How is Gaston County growing? And what areas of Gaston County?
This is perfect timing, especially with the interview we just did.
Right,
This
because
is great.
he's starting to think about the growth of Gaston County, and you need to know exactly where that growth is coming from.
Yep. So where are we at?
Exactly. So I got some cold, hard numbers for you guys.
We love it.
The last official census was in 2010, but every year the Census Department gives an estimate of population, and so we're going to use the 2017 numbers.
Okay.
All right, and we need to tell you which are the fastest growing towns in our area.
So let's do the top 5 and the bottom 5. Does that sound good?
That sounds perfect. If we get it right, we'll follow it with a sound like. And if we get it wrong, you'll hear. So we're going to start with top 5, right?
Top 5.
In sequential order?
No, this is just,
This
we're
is
just
where-
going to guess the top 5 because it makes
Okay.
it easier for me.
All right. Me too.
All right.
Me too. So my number 1 guess is going to be Gastonia.
That's right. That is in the top 5. That is number 5. They've added about 5,000 people from 2010 to 2017, which is a 6.8% growth for them.
I'm going to go with the second most obvious city in Belmont.
That is number 1.
Number
it has
one
grown
most-
17.8%,
That doesn't surprise me.
which is
Wow.
insane.
Yeah,
that's
a
a
lot
lot.
of people coming from Charlotte trying to get out of that Charlotte tax bracket into the Belmont property area. We've got Belmont, we've got Gastonia. So I'm going to say Mount Holly.
You got it. That is number 2 on the list.
That was a good guess.
Remember when I
With
said
a
I was gonna get everything right?
12.68% increase. They've added about 2,000 people, which is pretty substantial.
What do you think, Josh?
Cramerton.
Cramerton is not in the top 5, no.
Okay.
My next guess for our top 5 is Kings Mountain. I know that's on the west side.
No, you were wrong.
Huh.
I will say that you guys probably won't get it just because it's kind of a lesser known town.
But see,
Lowell.
that's what I was expecting.
Lowell is in the top 5. Number 4, it's increased 7.5%.
There,
And the 5th and final one in the top 5 is Stanley.
Stanley. Yeah.
Because Stanley is also eastern. The thing is that just the eastern part of the county is growing so quickly. Stanley has increased 8.62%.
Top 5.
Those are the towns that have the most growth.
Yeah, it goes Belmont, Mount Holly, Stanley, Lowell, and Gastonia. Those are your top 5 towns and cities.
Perfect. So the bottom of this list are towns that have growth, that are growing, but just not growing at that pace, right?
Exactly. Every town and city in Gaston County is growing. I believe Shelby has a negative growth where that's actually decreasing its population, but everything in Gaston County is growing.
Okay, so let's.
So
get to
if the east side of Gaston County is growing, let's hit our bottom 5 on the west side.
yeah.
All right.
So my guess is going to be one of my favorite towns in Gaston
Cherryville.
County. Cherryville.
Cherryville is indeed in the bottom 5. It is the 5th lowest. And that's
Okay.
had a 4.1% growth, which is pretty good, but not as good as some of the other towns and cities.
All right, my next guess is going to be Ranlow.
No, Ranlow was square in the middle. That is the 6th highest.
Okay. What you got for me, Josh?
Bessemer City.
That is in the bottom 5. That is
Okay.
the 3rd lowest with a 2.7% growth.
Okay.
All right, so my next guess is going to be High Shoals.
High Shoals is in the bottom 5. That is the 4th lowest with a 3.3% growth. And because it's such like a small town, they've only added 26 people, around 26.
Oh, wow.
In 7 years. So
My next guess is going to be Kings Mountain.
you got it. That is
All
the
right.
2nd lowest at 1.5%. And I will say that most of Kings Mountain is in Cleveland County, but there is a sliver of it that is in Gaston County.
Sure, and maybe if more of Kings Mountain was in Gaston County, would it be having better
We
growth?
would, yeah.
You know?
Maybe.
Good point.
Great point. So our...
You still haven't gotten the last place
Okay.
town.
So-
Would you like a hint?
I would love a cryptic hint, yes.
It's too small to really add any people.
Interesting.
Oh, McAdenville.
You got it. The census estimates that they've added about 9 people in 7 years, just because there's not really a
There's
lot of
no
room
room.
for growth.
And that is the growth of Gaston County from
Yep.
2017.
That's right.
And that is the 10th episode of the 85 Pod. Thank you so much for listening. We got to double digits, guys. We couldn't do it without your support. Please keep listening. Please subscribe to the podcast on wherever you listen to our podcast. Please rate 5 stars only, guys. If you want to email me, you can at the85pod@gmail.com. We have a website, guys. It's www.the85pod.com. Say goodbye, Nick.
Goodbye, Nick.
Say goodbye, Josh.
Goodbye, Josh.
Goodbye, Gaston County. Have a great day.